Yo guys, Theo here. We're here on a Sunday stream that may be the last one in a while. We'll see. It might be a short stream. We'll see. It all depends on you guys. I'm here descending from the highest state I've been riding on. Oh, so I have a stream on here? Ah, that wasn't the point. Distracting. What are all the notification sounds I was hearing? Confusing. But yeah, I'm descending. I'm very mellow. I can be here, but I need some input from you guys, so I'll just talk about whatever I talk about. Oh, some people dropped in. Hey guys, please talk to me because I don't have much natural output today. I can be available to talk. I cannot go on, big monologues by myself. I have here, thought it would be funny to put it in a glass like this. It's just water. It's sparkling water with electrolytes that the mix has orange flavor. Then there is some orange juice. Cheers, guys. Are you really all quiet? Am I getting this right? How are you guys? How was your weekend? What's going on next week? What's been on your mind this Sunday? Spiritual Sunday, Silent Sunday, the Sabbath. Yeah, I can read you a poem I wrote now. Oh, El Randoman. Yeah, I'm here. Hi, Theo. Just woke up having coffee. Mellow. Sounds good, man. It's later here, of course. But I enjoy my morning coffee as well. None after two in the day has been my cutoff. That if I don't overdo the amount either up until then, it works out well with sleep and everything. The Dakota logs, driving, hard to type. However, I am doing good, can't complain, hitting my goals. Yeah, man. Ever since you showed up around here, it seems like that's all you do. You're like good, can't complain, crushing those goals. I mean, if you're driving, it's like I don't want to make you have to type out more stuff, but if I recall correctly, you had some pretty bad, like, how should I say that? I don't want to say physical disabilities, but quite literally, that's what I recall, that you weren't in a great spot when you started training. But it seems like everything has been going really well for you. So it would just be interesting to hear more about that. But yeah, I wrote this poem yesterday. Yeah. I mean, the days just like, they're both so short and so long simultaneously. Everything is like, that was yesterday. Feels like much longer ago. Interpret this for yourself first. Soldier of love, reporting above. I am a man with quite a strong tan. I know it's been my turn, but the sun is starting to burn. I think about thee, forget about me. How can I not see that 1 and 2 always makes 3? If I am burnt, you must be pale. This lesson I've learnt. I'm better, but still fail. Better than ever before, sure. Striving towards perfection, there's always more. I did my best, right enough to pass the test. We'll see what the future has in store. Right now, it's right to rest. It's starting to rain more outside. I don't know if you can tell by the sound. I was going to go outside, but it started raining. But yeah, guys, I'll be here for a while. I just felt like I should this Sunday, even if I'm kind of tired and that I can feel like I can show up. So I should. Really, guys, you're gonna set the tone here. Yes. Envy man, planning to take creatine. Should I take kidney test before? Nah, man. I mean, do it if you want to, but it's like creatine. You know, I feel like it's not something to worry about. That it's like really, really an exception if you have any problems with creatine. It's found naturally in foods, red meat, some fish like tuna, some other foods. But like if you have no reason to suspect that you have kidney problems, I would just say go and take it. The Dakota logs. I wasn't at all. Fat, depressed, PTSD, on the verge of a heart attack. Now I'm approaching 200 pounds on my lifts, no longer have PTSD, or use my special shoes. Feel like myself again. I'm not quite sure into what you said, like you responded, I wasn't at all, which of the things I said, but that still gives me a reminder of what it was like. Fat, depressed, PTSD, on the verge of a heart attack. Now crushing it in the gym. Awesome, man. Awesome, man. I've had like 3 weeks. Let's say, Amy, man, I have lost 52 pounds so far, planning to top up with creatine now. Well, the creatine isn't so much for weight loss. I think you know that. It's more for strength and building muscle. It won't hurt with weight loss. But, you see what I'm saying? No, but yeah, I've had 3 weeks when I've been really super high TO. I just know that, okay, I'm in a state right now that I won't be like that high for very long. So I'm just being as productive as I can with stuff that I, almost can't do otherwise. And training really takes a back seat. I don't stop, but I just do the minimum to maintain what I have, sort of. Nutrition is whatever it is, hitting the protein. On most days, hitting a decent amount of calories, but if anything, under eating a bit, under sleeping for sure. So now since Tuesday, I've slept quite well. I've started to train more, started to take it a bit more chill with output, with videos and stuff, while not stopping. And now I'm feeling like got a good amount of rest for a few days. Gonna go back to more like normal schedule with training and stuff from tomorrow, and still keep working. But just like now, I've done all the downloads, all the freaking long videos that needed to come out, and then now go back to something a bit more structured. We'll see exactly what it is. I just know that that direction is where it is now. Envy man, I am scared of loose skin, so trying to top muscle to avoid it during weight loss. Yeah, man. So I mean, more muscle will help with that for sure. Pressing out against the skin. But then it's a fact. I always say that some people. I'm not saying you now, but when I hear people talk about loose skin, it's like, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, but I'm worried I'll have loose skin. And it's like, okay, so what's the alternative? That you just be fat instead? Is that better? Or is it just like, yeah, that might be a consequence? Is it not better though to be thin, lean and healthy with some loose skin? And you could always, I wouldn't blame someone if they went through with a big weight loss and really changed, and then they have loose skin and they want to do some kind of surgery to remove it. I would understand that. But just saying, anything is better than being overweight forever, right? Aussie, what's good, big guy? What's good, big guy? How are you, man? I'll be chilling with you. I'll stretch it to an hour no matter what, I think. But then we'll see. Hinduman says I agree about the whole loose skin thing. Yeah, nice. Yeah, no worry. We'll try to keep this going for an hour, and then we'll make a judgment. If there is enough action, I'll stick around for a bit. You are some guys showing up, like the stream if you haven't. talk to me in the chat. I really need input today to be able to go off. Otherwise, that's all. I'm just going to be talking about what I need. No, but it's going to be nice to train a bit more structured again. I've not been inside the gym much these last 3 weeks. Shortly for some leg workouts, a few upper body workouts, but most is leaving. Dude, see you around. Thanks for suggestions. Well, you're welcome, man. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, and Randoman, $5 super chat. I guess what's holding me back a bit right now is I went too hard on forearm stuff 3 weeks ago. Now I have golfer's elbow, lol. I don't remember, but at least my stock trading is finally improving. Well, that's good to hear, man. There are some people showing up here now. Nice, that's fun. Say hi in the chat, guys. How are you? How was your weekend? What's up the upcoming week? But also ask what do you think about cardio. It's like, man, be more specific. I don't feel like just talking about cardio as a whole thing, you know. I think it's cardiovascular training. So you're saying in your super chats, the golfer's elbow, which one is that of them? I'm sure I've had both golfer's and tennis elbow. You know, I've had all, you know, there's not a place where I haven't at least had like minor owie in my body. And honestly, it's just it's not, you shouldn't have been like sharp pain, have lots of issues like that all the time. But being like advanced strength or athlete or bodybuilder, it's like some minor aches and pains, like tendonitis here and there, little inflammation here and there. That's like kind of part of the process. Let me just be reminded here which one is golfer's elbow. It's a condition that causes pain where the tendons of your forearm are attached to the bone. Okay, so more like here. Yeah, I mean, where I've had that, I'm sure I've had that, but I tend to get more here, around here, on both sides. But it's like, you know, I'll give you an example about that. I've known that on the you know, the way I ran my program when I was up and running, training the hardest, bulking, I knew that, okay, if I do preacher curls along with some other upper body stuff on the Monday, on the Tuesday, it would not be a good idea to train anything that hit the same, you know, arm flexors here. But on Wednesday, when I want to train some forearms and some biceps again, I'm going to be good until then. If I do it right, you know, you see, you can like kind of get to know your body. And it's like, yeah, it's going to flare up a little bit after I train it then, but, you know, it's going to be okay again when it's ready to train. What more do you say about that? Yeah, your stock training went well. Feels like an electric shock shooting along the forearm. Yes, right there. Okay, so I got it. Well, I would guess if it's there, that's kind of where the pronation, the pronator muscle sits. So I wouldn't be surprised if pronation. So, you know, I have that pronator, even a recent short when I use it, but you could have a strap attached to like a kettlebell, maybe something for support here, and then do pronations like this. If you do that high rep first as some kind of warm up, that might help. Even doing it with slightly lower reps could be good to strengthen that area then, so you know, so you don't get this again. That's just what's comes to mind when I hear that. Okay, I'll say high mileage cardio, 3 to 4 times a week, 5 miles plus runs. High mileage cardio, 3 to 4 times a week, 5 miles plus runs. It can only be good, right? I mean, only be good. That sounds like a pretty serious, like, you know, it sounds like someone that is pretty serious about cardiovascular training. I mean, it's good if that's what you're looking for. It might start to be too much if you're someone that really would prioritize bodybuilding and strength training, but maybe you aren't. So, yeah, it's like, it's hard to have a general opinion on. It's like, it sounds like a good routine for someone that's interested, getting good cardio. jack, is high intensity interval training or low intensity steady state cardio better when you're on a cut for fat loss? So, neither is better like that. I mean, it's more fun, it's more cool to do high intensity HIIT training, but honestly, it takes so much more to recover from. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's again one thing, I wouldn't put them against each other, because if you're going to do it for real high intensity interval training, it's like 2 times per week, not more than three, for sure not, if you do it right. 2 times per week is probably more than enough for most people. And then, of course, you can still do low intensity steady state cardio. So that's the thing. It's cooler. I mean, you're gonna get more like cardiovascular training from high intensity interval training. But the nice thing about steady state low intensity cardio is that you can do so much of it. It doesn't really, there's no huge demand for recovery from it, and it's almost like the more the better, unless it's not crazy. And yeah, you see what I mean. So I wouldn't even put them towards, against each other. But if I'd say if you have to do one of them only, then obviously low intensity steady state cardio, just because you can only do so much of the other one. But thanks again, El Randoman, for the $5 super chat. Yeah. I'm waiting for you guys. Golfer's elbow. Now it's going to be nice to start training a bit more structured again. So now the goal this first week. And the thing is, I might do a fast. I kind of feel like doing a fast for other reasons than weight loss, but obviously it impacts training. So, it's more like I'm going to get back on structure. Then there might be a bit of a break to do a fast and then actually continue to do the structure. But what I was going to say is that, for instance, tomorrow I kind of try to find out where is my strength at on certain exercises, just so I know going forward. Like the stream if you haven't, guys. Talk to me. So I'm sitting here right outside heaven. Came here to chill with you guys. Came down. And random, have you been training to those vacuum things? The pose? No. It's like, I don't feel, honestly, it's like, there are things that say that I should try competing again in December because I have a license, that expires next year, and it costs money, so it's just a thing like that, and I could save some money, and it's shortly after, and that. But honestly, I'm not so excited about it. I don't feel so much like doing it, and probably if I do it, I'll just not do classic physique. I don't really care for that vacuum pose. So no, haven't been practicing that at all, actually. No, actually, it was fun. It was, I was happy that I did that thing, but yeah, I shouldn't feel like I have to force myself to do it. I should feel excited to try it again. And right now, I just don't. What I will do though is no matter what now, when I start training harder again and start pushing food a bit more, I'm still not gonna like go out of my way to gain weight. I'm gonna eat as much as I feel I need to see the numbers in the gym go up. So I would still be somewhat close to, competitive shape if I choose to do it. Yeah, my guys. It's very interesting. I've been reporting so much these weeks, like exactly how it's going to be for me. I'm going to be super high, do lots of content and stuff, and I'm going to come down, and I'm not going to be able to do as much. Now I'm right there, where it's like I'm just empty, not feeling bad necessarily. It's just like, yeah, all that just came so naturally. I've got it out, and I need more input again now. I don't mean just here on the stream right now, like generally going forward. Yeah, you have to know the beast you've been given to deal with, how it works, so you can operate accordingly. I started writing today the creation story of me. Have it here. I don't know, I blocked the chat that just popped up here. I blocked it here because I have it on a different screen there. Yeah, I started writing a creation story about myself. Because it's something I notice, part of identity, having a strong identity, is really like, yeah, this is where I come from. This is what happened. These are my experiences. That's why I am the way I am today. And now, because I know the past and I figured it out, and now I'm here and I'm moving there, I can use this. I write the story. I continue to write the story from this point. That I actually did that back in the day when I got clients. After I had gotten to know them on the first call, I started writing like a story. And I started like writing what had happened up until they met me. And then it was always like how it was going to be a success story from this point. But yeah, because that's what we do with our words all the time, right? We tell stories. Tell stories. You gotta make your story a good story. The Shreds Messiah. Theo, bro, how you doing lately? Well, I was just saying I'm doing well, but I'm coming down from a super high state that, I don't know how else to describe it, that I've always functioned like that I'm going to have times when I run super high and just as super inspired, super creative, almost can't help but do a lot of things. And I've done it. I've gone through that so many times. I was like self-aware, kept telling you guys like, yeah, this is not going to last forever. and now I come down. I've started resting more these last few days. So that's how I'm doing. I'm doing all right. Just coming down from this like, Giga inspired state. How are you, the Shreds Messiah? Shreds Messiah, huh? He came and gave gains to the people. No, speaking of stories, the connection I found to Christianity more lately, it's so interesting because I've started using, and it's not coming out of me as much anymore, but naturally, without thinking, without having read the entire Bible or anything, I just started talking very Christian, And when I would tell a story, I would often say, in the beginning, or it began, just like Genesis, right? I find something about that so curious, how you, without thinking of it, you start talking in a way, using words and framing, or however you want to put it, that appear in other places. It says something. It points to some kind of truth if that happens without you even trying, And Random Man laughs at he came and gave shreds. Mr. Strongwood, thank you for your videos. Well, you're welcome, man. I'm glad you like them. Are there any particular ones you like? Yeah, it isn't always the easiest. Sometimes I just put out what I think is good and important, but it isn't with like the stuff I know, my skill set. I'm not always like, it's not always obvious what, like I know what I can give, but it's not always obvious to me in what form people like to get it, if that makes sense. So I'm always looking for input and knowing like, oh, I like that video, and I would like to hear more about this, or stuff like that, Now clearly the weather is better outside. It wasn't. I've been outside today, but it wasn't so nice. So I kind of feel like going out now. But I don't have this tripod where I can move the camera easily. Oh, we'll see. But yeah, keep telling you guys, I'm gonna be. Have I missed something? So I saw the wrong chat. No, I don't think so. Okay. The Shreds Messiah, have a good weekend, man. Well, you too, man. But it's like it's over. I have. There literally what's literally left is like 6.5 hours. I of course gonna go to bed before then. But yeah, you have a good Sunday, Shreds Messiah. May you be shredded and blessed. Next weekend, not this one. Wow, already now? You wish me good next weekend? I appreciate that. Well, the same to you, man. you don't, you mean the weekend? Are you sure, not the week? Me, I can't be here, but just wanted to throw in a hello. Hello, man. Thank you for stopping by, at least. Yeah. No, at a time like this, I could use having someone else on stream, for sure. I'll stay for the remainder of this one, at least. Mr. Strongwood, I appreciate your videos on what masculinity really is. Not conforming to what women want and attracting your own crowd. I struggle to be a people pleaser, and your advice helped me overcome that. Well, that's awesome, man. That's great feedback, and I'm really happy for you. Yeah, I've been thinking, when I'm thinking, because, when I go through a period like I have now, it's like all kinds of ideas come to me that I'm just like, I had to get this on record, even for myself to go back to later, actually. And then it starts to become more like, okay, now when it's not all kind of inspired rants, how do I want to clarify this, like sort of section by section? And then do I think, what topics? And for instance, I think on just being a man, what that actually means, you know, not the weird, rootless, strange, you know, mainstream, not even feminism anymore, but the strange just equality ideology, but also not this hyper masculine red pill smear sort of stuff. Just like how to be virtuous, good man. I'm also thinking a lot about just where I mean, I've known it for a long time, but it became so clear to me this year that building individuals, that really what I do, because so many times when I help people with training and stuff, it's like, yeah, some people that really have their shit in order, sort of, there's going to be more focus on maybe optimizing training and stuff like that. But so much when people want to reach those kinds of goals too, with fitness, weight loss, building muscle, it's so much about figuring out the person and building solid routines. And to do that, you have to go deep within yourself and be like, why do I struggle with these things? And yeah, I'm such a nerd with figuring out both this individual but other individuals. Like, what are their patterns? What is the core traits here and mechanisms that we need to work with? And that. So that's also something I'm thinking about clarifying more in videos. And of course, that goes into being a man as well, but it's also just about being a person. It could apply to women as well. Um, what's up? What's up? Says Val Kilmer. Is that you? It's funny. I don't think anyone has said Val Kilmer yet, but there are many suggestions I get for who I look like. I'll take Val Kilmer. Good guy. No, but Mr. Strongwood, that's really good feedback, and I'm glad those videos have helped you. Vig88, hey Theo, do you have opinions about GLP drugs such as Ozempic? Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like I've looked into the like research the exact details of a thing like Ozempic. I would say I have a nuanced view on most things. So I would say many people probably run to a thing like that when it's not really needed, you know. Like, and honestly, for certain people, if they just rely on something like Ozempic, it kind of like may make them forcefully lose weight, and then because it's an like what it is pretty much a very strong appetite suppressant, right? But if that was the mechanism you leaned on to be able to lose weight, to adhere to less food, and now you go off, you're probably just gonna eat more again and gain it back. um, so I think most people shouldn't use a thing like that. But then there comes to a point where like someone is so overweight, like USA fat, as I call it, because people that you see, I've been many times, right? People you see over there, like everywhere. There's like still here people are overweight on average, but you still never see that kinds of people. But if you are like a 400-pound person, you might be also so messed up on a hormonal level and stuff that it might just be very difficult. So, if temporarily using something like Ozempic could kind of force you to lose a lot of weight, I mean, you would still later on have to do all the behavioral changes and stuff. But, that could be part of the journey. That's how I see it. So, yeah, that's a sort of take. Um, Mr. Strongwood says 100 and random Heat, best movie ever. I'm not quite. Is Val Kilmer in that one? Heat. Isn't that the one with Robert De Niro? De Niro. Is Val Kilmer also in it? It's been a while since I saw it. Gotta look it up now. Heat. Okay, Val is there. Been a while since I saw it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, John Voight. I wonder when the last time. I know I've seen it more than once, but it was a long time, both of them. I guess both. The Dakota logs. Developed fat. Only rich country not having a fat problem is Japan. Yeah. And Japan has so many other issues, in my opinion. Like, I don't mean it in a racist way at all. That it just seemed like the most robotic people, in a sense. And it's not, I don't mean like to begin with. I mean the way they've shaped their society. It feels like every human need, like even like snuggling someone, all of that is like you can go buy it in places, so strange. But they're not fat, that's true. Yeah, guys. Yeah, and I was thinking about telling some stories on this stream because I was thinking, I was talking about doing story time streams potentially. I just felt like I'm not gonna tell it in the most interesting way, any of them right now. It would be so just matter of fact. So I'm thinking I'll hold off on them. Because the thing now, though, guys, it's quite likely that there are not gonna be so many more streams for a while. I might just get an impulse, but it's not gonna be anything close to what it has been. Pretty sure. Do videos. Yeah. No, I really think I should work on a group coaching and or community kind of thing because I love to have more discussions, even on streams, and I get some input, and that's great. But it ends up being so much me talking about stuff only, which makes sense on a YouTube channel, of course. I'm gonna boot up the podcast, and the point being is that I want to do more with people that find their way here. just like, oh, I put out the videos that you watch. Just have to figure out exactly what that looks like. Sup, Theo. Why, he says, sup, man. How are you? Had a good weekend? Okay, I guess I finished this. I'll be here for a little bit more, guys. Mr. Strongwood, are you on other social media? I am on Instagram. I posted actually throughout this time, I've been posting more on YouTube. I've been posting less on Instagram. I have a lot posting like stories, training stories every day, along with some other things. Now, I usually post something on my story most days, just way less. But yeah, it's so, and random man says, gonna drop into my Sunday chores. See ya, man. Have a peaceful Sunday. Oh yeah, Instagram is the main other one, and it's been more training focus over there, like actual direct training stuff. Honestly, I think beyond looking into the basics with technique for training and that, I think one of the best ways to learn from someone else about training is watching them train combined with their thoughts, their commentary on it, Because that's the thing that I feel a lot of fitness content kind of forgets, that no matter how much we're like, oh, these many sets, these many reps, these exercises, this split, this training program, in the end, it's always about the person performing it and becoming better at it. There are many things that go into it that can't really be summarized in that sort of way. So that's why, again, about stories, why I think if I tell, like, this is how I learned to fast, instead of just being like, oh, here's the one protocol to learn you fast, like I teach you fast, I can do videos about a particular fasting routine, but many times talking about this is how I got into it, this is what it looked like when I first tried it out, this is how I found solutions for some things that were difficult. That gives you a very good idea, not only of the technical information, but sort of like, this is what I sort of can expect to go through as I'm on this journey of learning to fast, or just losing weight, or just building muscle, right? Mr. Strongwood, short form content is a good way to attract attention, and your long form content is a good way to retain it. But to fully harness the power of YouTube shorts, you have to use tactics. Yeah, and I know I should. That's the thing. I should probably try at least. I had a guy doing it for free for me for a long time ago. But the easiest thing for me with shorts would be to just take out stuff from longer videos. But I already do so many things myself that it would just take a lot of time. Like I would probably now, when I have so many live streams that I think there were many good, tangents and points on, I would probably go through them and take out some clips that aren't shorts but are shorter, like 3 to 10 minutes maybe. I could do some of that myself, but it's like, yeah, it just becomes so much that you have to do yourself. I'm as good as a one-man show. That pretty much is that my dad helped me a little bit with like admin behind the scenes, like what is it even called? Bookkeeping, right? Yeah. Mystical stab artist. Theo, do you think CERN is altering the space-time continuum? What is CERN? I might know, but I need a reminder. I'm gonna look it up. CERN. The European Organization for Nuclear Research. I don't know anything about it, honestly. I just recognize it. So funny question in the chat, but okay, the Large Particle Accelerator in Switzerland, I think. I mean, I don't know anything about it. I don't even know exactly what altering the space-time continuum would mean. LCD9s, meds now, he says to Mystical Stab Artist. Give Mystical Stab Artist a couple of rocks to play with, and he'll be right back, grounded. Mr. Strongwood asked if I see my personal training in YouTube as a business. I mean, that's the way I've been making a living since 2022. So what else should I see it as? You know, I don't get most of my money directly from YouTube. There's been like a few months when, you know, the channel was blowing up last year. I could actually make decent amount from YouTube for a few months. Not a complete like salary by itself, but still something that counted. But then it's mostly the clients I get through my content, and then I happen to have some like in-person clients or just clients that I know from my personal life. And I sell a book, right? And I'm gonna have like that's what I'm gonna be working on now to finishing up. Now when I'm done with the super creative part, I have an online course that's all like it's all but finished. It's like everything is recorded for it and stuff. So it's just like, you know, packaging it, making like a sales page. So yeah, man, that's of course this is what I do. It's my business, yeah. Your brain asks, would you ever consider facial surgery to improve your facial aesthetics? So funny, man. Like, how bad do you feel about your face to ask a question like that? It's like the thought has never occurred to me. It's like I'm completely happy with my face. And it's so funny, the comments you get about that, because I get equally, literally people telling me that I have the most insane face genetics, like the greatest jaw, or 10 out of 10 Nordic genetics. And then I get these people that like, oh, you'll never, your body doesn't matter with that face. It's like the point here is that people don't realize how subjective that is. Especially if you were insecure and feel bad about your face, you're gonna see someone else that's similar somehow. You're gonna think it's not good looking. Second thing is, I don't give a shit about my face at all. You know, it's my face. I like it, but it's like it's such a shallow aspect of me. Yeah, it's like, what would I have to gain from using surgery? I'm already extremely attractive to women as it is. Like for what? If I'm really entertaining this idea, you know, I think you just feel bad about your face and you think it matters more than you do because you have a weak identity. And you should find something more important to identify with than your fucking face. Musical stab artist, have you heard of the Mandela effect? Do you remember certain things about the past differently than they occurred? Yeah, man. That sometimes I'm sure I remember something being a certain way, and then it isn't. I mean, of course, that could be also that certain memories you have are imperfect. I mean, because I can recall, for instance, if I've been somewhere when I was very little, and in my head I have a memory of what it looks like. Then when I show up there years later, it's like, oh, it didn't really look like the way I remembered at all. Like, is it a Mandela effect, or is it just like I don't have a complete memory and it like takes a different shape? But yeah, I've heard about it and I've definitely considered it. I just don't have any example that comes to mind now. Mystical Stab Artist tells LCD9, yes, we all know that you think drugs are the answer to everything. That's funny. I'm not sure you think so. Robin M, are you cutting, bulking, or maintaining right now? So I've been maintaining. Yeah, I've been maintaining since after the bodybuilding show, I guess. So almost 2 months. Yeah, 2 months pretty much. And now I'm gonna start transitioning into sort of lean bulking. I'm not gonna start completely yet, because I'm thinking about doing a fast. But after the fast, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna start trying, not trying. I'm gonna start training a bit more structured again now, like more often, more volume, and that. But then we'll see. It's like in a couple of weeks or so, I should be back on the lean bulk. See how funny that is? You feebly try to insult me, you just end up humiliating yourself. Mystical stab artist. I find the way this guy speaks is really funny. And CD9 says, I'm excited for the course. Yeah, man, it's a habit building course. It's called the Consistent King. So, pretty much what I try to do through all the different services that I have and the free videos, of course. In the free videos, it's just not always as structured, right? It's like big ideas around everything. But I always try to build individuals, give a template for a good routine to adhere to that's going to give you lots of, other than actually getting fit, getting in good shape, mastering the body, you're going to master yourself with certain tools. So it's always some kind of variation of what I've done myself. So the course is going to be like, it's a certain template for how you go about, a program, but it's not just training and diet. There are some other things in there. And then there's just video chapters educating about everything you need to know really around it. So yeah, I think it's going to be good. Vanguard Fitness, Muslim Mind. Hey Theo, since spirituality is important to you, are you familiar with Satori, as the Zen Buddhists call it? If you've had such experience, as I suspect you did, have you ever talked about it here? I mean, I know Satori. I need to just fresh my memory exactly on the definition so I can answer properly, but that's a really interesting. That's a really interesting question. So the road that leads to Satori, sudden enlightenment. What does Satori mean? Awakening, comprehension, understanding. Yeah, I mean, it's like that's sort of the experience I had the last couple of weeks that I've now sort of come down from. When it's like stuff that I know otherwise also. It's like I just see it so clearly. I feel like Neo from the Matrix. That when my clients, when I talk about them, and I know all the puzzle pieces about them, like their relationships, their work life, the typical things they tell me and stuff. It's like I just see this entire map around them, and it's like I know exactly what to do with this. And I'm good at that otherwise too. But it's like I have to put more thought into it. Maybe it will come more to me later and stuff. And I'll be, I've been thinking about this since our last call. While now, when I'm like that, it's just like it just like everything is so obvious to me. So, and you're super present, which honestly, I'm still in a sort of state like that. It's just that I'm not vibing on these sort of super high frequencies that I'm so happy and excited and like, it's like, it's the same thing, but slower. I'm still very in the present moment. I'm not I'm not thinking about these things that happened in the past. I'm not thinking too much about the future. But it's like a milder state. It's like I'm gotten too exhausted at this point. But yeah, and I have experienced this before, but I was less self-aware. And it's very strange, honestly, because when you're in that state, for the most part, everything is just working so well with you. And that's the response you get from most people. You're like magnetic. People talk to you and smile at you and approach you more in all kinds of places. And what did I want to come to with that? Yeah, when you're like that, it can seem like I'm doing great for the most part. And the danger there is to not be cautious, like realize that it is a heightened state. There's lots of amazing stuff with it, but it's like having a wild beast within almost. Like, yeah, it's like you are enlightened, but you're still a human being with an ego. You can make mistakes, right? And so when I've been there before, I just made some kind of mistake and really, really, really got burnt. Now I was self-aware enough. I knew I was chipping away at myself, just working too hard, not giving enough here, just putting out like that. That has led to me now for a few days just feeling not bad, just like, okay, I need to restore energy. So I've slept much more. I've worked a bit less, I talked a bit less in general and restoring my batteries. So I think I'm gonna not get back to the peak before, but I'm gonna rise a bit higher again. I can already feel it. I'm actually really, I gotta say, before I look more at the chat, I gotta say, guys, that I'm really happy that I did the stream today. You can see now I start to be more talkative and it's flowing more. Now I'm not forcing it, while before I would have had to force to talk more. But that's what I know sometimes. The thing with like, this is just, this is my current understanding of things, okay? The language I use. Like, don't take it too exactly. Like, just try to see what point I'm making. If we're talking about like vibrations, frequencies you can be on, it's like when you are, it's like momentum, right? When you are in a really high place, it's sort of like, yeah, it's very easy to just keep being there. But as soon as you start coming down, it's like you can get up again. But now, for instance, I know tomorrow I'm still gonna feel quite tired in the morning and stuff. But I know that if I now get back to the things that do elevate me, if I go hit a good workout, it's not just a physical thing. I'll be glad that, like, yeah, I'm back on track. Good, it was nice. I've been, not slacking, but I have been chilling with the training consciously for a bit. So I just feel good that, yeah, felt a bit tired. I went to do that. Then, I'm gonna have the gap where I probably record a video or edit something I already have, something like that, which is also gonna give me a little boost. Then I'm gonna have some client calls that also is gonna give me a boost, and probably by the end of the day tomorrow, I will have elevated more again. And that's what's happening now too. That that's what I mean with the momentum. When you are vibing really, really high, it's like, yeah, I'll just go on stream. I have a lot to talk about. It's like, yeah, I want you guys to talk, but I have stuff to talk about. I'm like that then. And now when I've started to come down a bit, it's like, there's more resistance with doing a stream, even if I can do it. When there's not so much action in the chat, you know, I don't quite know what to say. It doesn't come naturally. But just because I've been here now and waited and talked to you guys, now this is a thing that takes me up. So yeah, I'm just saying, guys, thank you for being here. Honestly, as a tool for me also in this sense. 20 people here now. Like, I have some stuff to go through in the chat now. If you keep talking, if you keep sending some super chat, I could definitely go for a while longer today. I could. Okay. No, but I hope Vanguard Fitness that it was sort of an interesting and related answer, because it definitely is like that. The first time I enter those states is so hard to not get hubris, that, man, I just see fucking everything. And, it's not me being crazy, because it turns out that I'm right about everything I do when I like just do a sort of read on a person, whether that's a client or someone clients can be in real life, but you see, not professional. You're like, man, like I am divine, I'm godly. Yeah, it's hard to not get hubris, and that's what I learned from now. I kept saying, like, I'm just grateful when I'm in that state. I know it's not about me. I'm just lucky enough to get to have an experience like that. It's scary also. It's scary because you can do mistakes, like I told you, but also that a lot of people just don't get it. They think like, oh, it's a manic episode, which it somewhat is, but it's not fair. It's not fair to categorize it as just a manic episode, as if it's just like some crazy thing. It's like it's productive. It's like you have like a beast within that's so capable. That's just like you just have to tame the beast. Mystical Stammer said it's a good opportunity for you to grow spiritually. Exactly. I move on to the super chat that I got here, but the short point about that is exactly the way I feel is when I end up in that state. It's like that's when I download and install a lot of stuff that I'm then very conscious of, like this. But then what I'm going to take with me, even when I come down and I'm not quite that high and even lower, that will still operate to on some level in the background now. It's like at that state, it's like everything subconscious is just conscious. You see everything, and then you take the opportunity to just put stuff in, so that it will serve you even when you can't consciously think of it as much. Okay, your brain, €2 super chat, appreciate it. Can you look up the definitions of all 8 jhanas? Sure, I don't even know what that is, but let's do it. Buddhism. Is it like different petals on the lotus leaf or something? Okay. Let's see. different eight different levels of jhana. They differ in what makes up the experience. I wouldn't say each is in this article that I found is better or worse, but there is a decrease of factors compromising them as one goes further into them. They become less tangible, less objective. There's less to experience. The early jhanas involve some feel-good feelings which dissipate by the fourth jhana. There is no emotion, wanting, thinking, or doing in the fourth jhana through the eighth. The fifth through the eighth jhanas are often not numbered, or described by the experience instead. Jhana doesn't accidentally come to people during sleep or hypnosis that I'm aware of, he says. Jhana doesn't happen unless the mind is ready for it to happen. Usually this involves the application of one's self to meditation on some sense object, as mentioned. Some people can experience jhana in months, and for most people it takes years of meditative practice. There are very few people with the experience of jhana, and yet I think anyone on the planet could experience it if they apply themselves. But yeah, let's see the different jhanas. In the first jhana, the meditator can experience a very strong, even overwhelming bliss. Many will claim to have reached nirvana at this stage. The level of joy and bliss rises exponentially, adding more and more when you think no more could be possible. This is truly ecstatic experience that can be reached by focusing on the breath without lapse, then refocusing that, okay? I mean, the only thing about this is that I haven't done this sort of meditation, so it's hard for me to relate to these. You know, honestly, my own things, I've done some meditation, like purely, but mine has never been a specific one. It's more been one where I look within. Either I just observe what kind of goes on the inside when I don't try to make anything happen. It's like, oh, you thought about that. Oh, you're a bit worried about that. And if you're just noticing stuff. Sometimes I actually sit and reflect. I'm gonna reflect on this question or this word. I'm gonna ask myself questions about it and see what I come up with. And sometimes it's just some sort of relaxation. Just think about relaxing my body somehow. But most of my like heightened states and stuff, it's always come as like as an expression of either in the short term or long term, you stacking, going through, like chaining these wins over challenges that like just gradually raise me to a certain level. This year, like I've talked about, it was a lot about just facing both the combination, just facing a lot of fears in exposing myself, honestly, like trying to go, me that is naturally open in many ways, trying to still go to places I'm not comfortable going with, like my videos and stuff, and just in real life, expressing certain things to people in my life, and then of course just the battling, very active battling of haters, the negativity, because I had to face so much within myself there and learn about other people, and then it's like you purify yourself, you go against fears enough so that you're not afraid anymore. There's just like now something suddenly can flow more freely. So it's interesting that all my sort of altered states, higher states that I've reached, it has very little to do with like direct meditation. Meditation may be part of a thing that I said, I haven't done it in a while now, but it's part of the Consistent King course, and I do it again every once in a while. But having a meditation in the morning, that might be one of the steps I take to sort of stack wins and build this momentum up throughout the day. But thanks for the super chat, man. I'm just not gonna go over all the jhanas when I don't even meditate in that way. So where were we? LCD9 said, Gandalf once said, well, you're here anyways, lol. Or something like that. 10 billion realities could exist, I don't really care. We're here. Yeah, man. He also asked if I've taken LSD, LMAO. Well, not right now. What makes you think that? This is like, there are many other streams where I would have, like, honestly, when I describe what these higher states feel like, it's very much a combination of some kind of stimulant and some kind of psychedelic, just more calm, not as intense. I wouldn't like hallucinate, if you see what I mean. But it's like this super flow of energy and just seeing bigger patterns more easily. And everything just feeling a bit brighter and lighter and more fun. That's exactly what I described it, and I realize more and more that the drugs that people take just like in their mouth is just more a straight path to something, but you know, it's all within us to begin with. So yeah, it makes sense. Lots of people think about the altered state as something only induced by like a drug or something, but you can get high off of your own supply, if you see what I mean. And it's often it's more calm, it's more like centered because it's something that happens naturally inside you as a consequence of something instead of you just like taking some kind of dose. Not that that is ever okay to do, medication or recreationally, but you see what I mean. So it's just interesting to me that you asked me on this stream because I feel like I'm the most chill I've been in some while the last few weeks. Um, where were we? Yeah, Jack, do you attend church and read the Bible? I mean, I started reading the Bible a bit more recently. I do not attend church because I wouldn't know where to go in Sweden. Most of them are super corrupted. I went to the Orthodox church once, so it's not really very close to me, and I felt more at home there, but still like kind of estranged to the whole thing. So yeah, I would, even though I don't really consider myself a Christian, I've come closer to Christianity. I've considered myself a believer and man of God for a long time. So I could go to a church just to find some community. But it's just a shame here that most churches, it's like they are of, I don't want to say your father, the devil, but you see what I mean? It's inverted. It's like, it's very often some kind of freaking left wing, if it's even that you're supposed to define it as, but political propaganda that's like corrupting the actual Christian part there. And your brain asked also, you were the one that sent the super chat, I guess. Yeah. Do you do any concentration meditation practice? Have you entered any jhanas? If so, like, look, I don't do what you mean by concentration meditation practice, but that's what I mean. That these things, they are good, and I've done some meditation, like I told you, but it's not the only way to achieve those things, in my view. I will often go on a walk or something in complete silence and concentrate on things, like just stop to really look at that tree and stuff. And really, I'm going to actively listen for all the sounds in this forest and stuff like that. And honestly, I feel like doing heavy sets in training is concentration meditation. It's just that you're doing it while using force, but you're concentrating, staying centered, doing it in a very precise way. And then I view it as a sort of meditative practice to just like I did right before the stream. Actually, I just tied it up around the place. I tied it up around the kitchen sink, put some clothes in the right place. I had washed some clothes. I just hang it up to dry in silence. So you see what I mean? That I'm not saying that I could even have use for more meditation, I'm sure. But I'm saying the way I view it, it's like a way of living. It's not always only about the actual meditation like that. Yeah, so no, at the moment, I don't do much active meditation like that, but I do lots of stuff that I consider like focus, concentration based, being present, being unstimulated, being with the self. Luis Demos, what do you think about water fasting 3 days on, 1 off? I simply can't fast for more than 72 hours. I run my family business and find it difficult to sleep and think at about the 60 to 70 hour mark. I mean, if you can't, you find this difficult, why even fast so aggressive, like 3 days on, 1 off? Because, it's quite aggressive. I would prefer that you like have my weekly, like if you do one fast like that per week, but then you can eat in a deficit on the other days too if you want to, but then you can train and get more out of it like that. So that's what I think. Mr. Gustav, there is no point to bodybuilding competition, quote unquote, nowadays. They were interesting in the 1970s or 80s when it was completely novel. So naturally people like the spectacle of it. That has worn off. Yeah, man, but it's a completely different feel and aesthetic to it than where you see the guys, Tom Platz, Arnold, everyone around there. Lee Priest is another favorite for me. Like it's a completely different thing. I've said before, I'm not interested in doing steroids or being a competitive bodybuilder now at all. But back then, I could definitely see myself like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's just blast gear. And they had a natural tan also, not a freaking spray tan oil shit. Everything was better about it then. It seems like I agree. Robin M, about to finish my bulk and will start my cut with a 60-hour fast for lifters. Awesome, man. Awesome. Great idea. That you could do that every week or every other week. Every other week is good for it if you can be patient. You'll do better with training that way. SCDI says, mystical, true. It says to Mr. Snavar, the science projects on stage is boring. We get it. You're giant. I'm proud of you, but it's not the same anymore. Mr. Strongwood gives a little heart from Tennessee. Well, a heart back to Tennessee from Stockholm. Mystical Stab Artist. When you achieve enlightenment, you don't come back down. I don't want to troll too hard on your last live stream. This isn't about me. Yeah. No, when you achieve enlightenment, you don't come back down. I mean, I've thought about that, and I don't know. It all depends on how you define it, because many of the things, when I would say I'm in that enlightened state, if you look at that chart, if you just Google like emotions frequency chart or like state frequency chart, you see that the highest frequency is called enlightenment, and I keep the information that's just more clear to me then. So enlightened is just that it's not just this like divine, super inspired, just great feeling state all the time. So I have thought about that. What do I think about enlightenment? Can someone reach that sort of blissful, super inspired state and just stay there at all times? I'm not so sure. It doesn't seem to work that way for me, at least. And I've always been a person that's more like this. So that's what I mean. Is it really that simple that you can actually just reach a state of enlightenment and just be there? Do you know what I think? I think you can come closer and closer to that. Because I think this life is all about finding balance, better and better balance. And I can see some people that barely seem to show any, emotions in a sort of reactive way. And you will just see it at times like, okay, now that person actually got a little bit angry. They're acting a bit angry in sort of a triggered way. So I think it's about, like for a person like me, it's about learning to ride these highs the best. Like I did well, landing better now, but even better, how to get high again at an even lower point. And I think over time, it will be closer and closer to the center. So that's sort of how I view that. Your brain says, I can reach up to 7th jhana. This finally compelled me to stop facial surgeries, to be honest. Ozzy, do you do any aesthetics for hair removal? It's like, guys, is it not clear what kind of guy I am? I don't do shit like that. It's like, I will eat well, I will train, I will do something about my hair every once in a while, like cut it. But I don't do any like superficial, like hair removal. No, it's like, maybe I would if I was a hairier individual, but I think I'm blessed with body hair genetics. My beard isn't great, but my hair on my head, I definitely have a lot of it. I have chest hair. I have, my arms aren't very hairy. My legs are very average hairy. I don't have any hair on my back, really. It's like, I think that's good. I guess I understand someone with like a really hairy back or something. It was weird. I shaved my entire body for the first time ever for this bodybuilding competition. Even the little hair on my arm that you can barely see on camera now, even that made a difference when it was a cold wind to have none at all. Your brain says, you're doing mostly what is called insight practice. This can be made more potent if you have skill in concentration practice, especially jhanas. Would you let me call into the stream to talk about it? I mean, I don't know how you would call into the stream. I don't know how you would do that even now. I don't have any like setup for that. But I mean, if you want to tell me more, you can. You can email me or something about it. You know, I'm open-minded. I try all kinds of things. So, Bombard Fitness was like Satori is seeing through the illusion of the ego. You feel that you're divine and everything is. When back to society, you can play the ego game, get lost in it, but you now have no fundamental fear. The emphasis of the word is that it occurs in an instant. There's a before and an after. It occurs to you or not, can make it happen by will through meditation, since a complete let go moment. Yeah, man. Yeah, let me see here. No, completely. Like, I've always seen it coming when it happens, but there is a sort of moment, and it's always about being completely fearless. And you're right. You can play the ego game, but it's like, yeah, seeing through the illusion of the ego. That's what I mean. I have talked these last few weeks a lot about, do you have your ego on a leash, or is it the other way around? And the funny thing is that when it is the other way around, you can like completely embrace the ego you have, but you don't really identify with it. It's more like, yeah, well, that's what I have to work with here. I have Theo's huge ego. I'll just let it run wild and have fun with that. Let's see. Can I hit it this time? 1 1 1 1 1 1. It's always a delay for me when it starts. I know the counter for you and me isn't the same. Mystical stab artist. Say the sinner's prayer and ask Christ to come into your life, please. I mean, I have asked Christ to come into my life. He says, Theo, get a Jack Chicks comic and go to the last page. It will tell you what to do. Yes, YouTube deletes my comments on telling you how to turn your life over to Christ. That should be the proof you need. It is satanic and controlled by demons. It does? Mr. Strongwood. Should someone with a fast metabolism fast? I've always struggled to gain weight. I mean, should they do that for what? You shouldn't fast to gain weight. It's like, it's always that, you know, should the person with fast metabolism fast? I've always struggled to gain weight. Well, I mean, if you're trying to gain weight, I wouldn't do a fast right now. But if you have some other reason to do a fast, of course you could like, okay, you can try to eat a lot for a week or something before you do like a 3-day fast if you want to do it for like spiritual reasons, for example. But if you have no other purpose with it, no clear purpose with it, it's like, just don't fast. You just eat, gain weight. Your brain. I suggest looking into pragmatic Dharma people for more precise maps around this stuff. I recommend 2 specific people for you to look into. Roger Tisdell and Daniel Ingram. I think I recognize that other name, Daniel Ingram. Can send you a Zoom invite, might work. Yeah, but you won't be able to go on the stream though. I would like have you on my computer or something. It's like maybe another time. I just don't think it's the best time now. Let's do this. Ossi. Did you feel a big difference between how girls treated you when you're in shape versus out of shape? You see here. Ari Bobari. Hey, I just discovered you. I was watching your Roman chair ab video and you went live. Cool, man. Welcome here. We're talking about some other things than ab training right now, but anything goes here. Anything that's uncommon sense affiliated, related, we can talk about. But welcome here. Yeah, also felt the big difference between how girls treated you when you're in shape versus out of shape. So look, man, this is another reason that I don't really view it as being just about the shape. I did an old video where I talked about like, yeah, clearly I got interest just for my body. Like, you know, unknown girls on Instagram that cannot know so much about how I am as a person. But it's mainly, I can just sense that my entire energy being around, like, there's a story I've told not just about girls, but I can see, like, okay, recently in the gym, when I was just trying to talk to the guy working there, and I technically work in the gym too, just so very little, and these girls came up that were looking for something else, and like I just said something quickly to them, and it's so obvious how like just they're so giggly, they're so like, yeah, then they get in a certain way around me, and even if I didn't do most of the talking, they make sure to turn to me and say thank you and goodbye, and that sort of thing happens a lot. And also the kids here by the kindergarten. I don't know if I told this on a stream, but yeah, I have some little relatives that go to this kindergarten, so I've said hi to them sometimes. But many times I just pass by there and I'm completely in my head. I'm just going by. I'm not thinking about the kindergarten. I'm heading a certain direction to record a video or meet the client or something like that. And these kids have now all gotten to know me. And they always come running like, Theodore, Theodore, Theodore. Like half the kids, like the people that were working there, have been so confused. I've done nothing for this to happen. And of course, it's in part, like sometimes I walk, with a tank, I look muscular and stuff. But you notice when you've been like this for a long time, you notice it's not just about the way you look, because when I've been in a lower state, then clearly I send out signals that say that I'm unavailable, because I don't get the same natural attention from people at all, because I don't give the same like open energy, right? So but then maybe people still think you are like attractive or something, but they just feel like you're not approachable in the same way. Um, so you see what I mean, man? Like, yeah, I have noticed it since. Like I get different treatment when I look a certain way, but so much of it isn't really about the look. It's your entire just comfort in yourself. It's like being a large person, not just physically, just having you walk in, so many people, they go around, they are like, even if they don't look nervous and stressed, and that's sort of what's the tense and stuff. When you just come and you're like, hey, I want to order this, whatever, like where you are. People just like can sense your entire big, calm, warm energy in a sense. I'll say this before I round this off. It's definitely the case though that I noticed they're just not as obvious with it as men. But I notice more than ever that, oh man, some girls really just want me for my body. Like they think I'm hot. They want me to fuck them pretty much. And like I've seen it more clearly now for some interactions I had with some girls that clearly expected more from me. And yeah, I didn't think they met the standards. Ossie says, that's very true. Sometimes I see people in shape who are weird and not very approachable. Yeah, man, that's also the thing. Since my physique, I never built it this time around to out of insecurity. Like, oh, maybe I'll gain more respect, or maybe more girls will find me attractive if I'm fit. I actually started this time. Like, I need to take good care of myself. And I noticed and I liked myself for the way I was doing this. And I liked that how I could enjoy the aesthetics while see, it's the way that who I was becoming, how I was feeling and operating. That was the main thing. But if you from like extreme insecurity push yourself to build a certain physique, now it's a different. It's the shallow bodybuilder compared to the holistic bodybuilder as I am. If you take two extremes like that, um, it's just a shallow. How should I say? Shallow similarity between the two, but the external manifestation of the insecure person looking to feel attractive, it's still a manifestation of a person that's insecure and looking to feel attractive, you understand? So even though on a very surface level they might appear a certain way, they're still going to operate out of fear. And am I good enough? Do I look good enough? Am I attractive? So that's the interesting part about everything like that. um, Ari Bubari says, agreed, attractiveness absolutely comes from the inside. Yeah, like I always say, the external is a manifestation of the internal. So if you build a beautiful body, a fit body, and it comes from like values of I want to take good care of myself, I know what this does for me as a person, then it's gonna send different signals. And that's the interesting thing, even about the more insecure person, they're still gonna have to inevitably um, build some attractive traits, like consistency, discipline, pushing hard, and stuff like that. And your brain asks if I've ever consumed animal brain. I found it has some psychoactive effects. No, I haven't. Some organs, but never a brain. I don't think any sort of brain. I don't think so. I think maybe I've tried some kind of like sheep's brain or something at some point. I don't think so. It's like heart, kidney, liver, spleen, maybe, and like bone marrow. Those are the things I've eaten from animals. Yeah, guys, I mean, it became some more action here than I expected, and that clearly made me happy. But yeah, you gotta give me some input now, or else I'll be done for a while. Take these off towards the end. It's interesting. It hasn't been so much sun, but it's like I get such a deep tan. Right. From my like aunt, I guess, or like great aunt. And no, it's like I look like I've been out in the sun all day, but it's barely been any sun today. Ari Bubari, when I joined, you were talking about some authors. Authors, I don't think so. Your brain should try it. Has noticeable effects for me. Pork brain is the safest. I don't know where to get it, but I'll consider it. Ari Bubari, that you recommend. Authors, I mean, no, there's none I recommend. I'm not a big reader. It's like this thing, it's one of the most common questions I get somehow about, like, what books do you recommend? What's the must-read books for men? And I'm like, there's none you have to read. Yeah, I'm not against it. It's just like, you don't have to. How old am I? Um, okay, Ari Bobari said, you were recommended Dharmic Math. Was that the name? And Ingram. Yeah, I was recommended. They were called Roger Thisnell and Daniel Ingram. I mean, it's up there. You just scroll up a little bit. Your brain asks, how old are you? I'm 32. I'll be 33 in 3.5 months. Is that it? 4.5 months? Yeah, or so. Born in 92. Boulder shoulder. 7. Biggest mistake you did whilst training, bad program, recovery, etc. You know, it depends on. You're welcome, Ari Bobari. It depends on, I guess, what we, biggest mistake. I think I have one that I think is the biggest, because of course, like when I almost herniated the disc, that's just like being stupid in the moment. I did 6 reps with 180 kilos on a set. I wanted to do 6 again. After I did a 5th, I was like, should I really go for the 6th one? And then my ego said, yes, do it. And I did it, and I almost herniated a disc, and that compromised some of my training for some months. So that was like a mistake like that. But the more like long-term mistake I did was overtraining in a way that most people just don't do. When I had done push-pull legs for quite some time, and I wanted to try upper-lower, like a moron, what I ended up doing was like pretty much squeezing in the entire push and pull workout I would do in an upper, this really long workout. And I trained legs 3 times per week. So it's just like, just doing way more. And at that time, I was so stiff and tense in my body. I had what they call upper cross syndrome, that my upper chest and traps were all tight. It felt like I was wearing a steel collar, I would wake up in the middle of the night, feel exhausted, like I'm super tired, but still, for whatever reason, like, why am I awake? But it's like all this cortisol. So yeah, that would be that I kept at it with this. I couldn't help myself from doing too much, even though I should have noticed, right? And I still made some gains during that time, but it became better when I just started to chill a bit with that. So that would be the more long-term mistake I did for a few months. Your brain. I'm back home, was messaging while doing groceries earlier. I'd suggest looking into Roger Thistle. He's a personal friend of mine and definitely has some of the best content around meditation. And then he says, I am 33. You do look a bit younger than your age. Good job. That's also, thanks, man, I guess. I mean, because it doesn't really matter so much to me. But that's also such an interesting thing. Some people that come from like the goatist sphere, and some others insecure people again. Then you're like, oh, you look so old. Oh, you look so old. Or your skin is aging. All this shit they say that I don't care about it, whether it's true or not. But then I know, like, I don't really look that old. Most people tell me I look younger. It's always been the case for me. People think I'm younger when they just see me. When I speak, they've always thought that I'm older, actually. ever since I was a little toddler, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll end the stream soon, guys, but I'll just stick around for a little bit. It was good, guys. It's like, there's a balance with stuff that in the highest state I'm in, it's almost like I shouldn't listen to everything I want to do. Because what I want to do, after a certain point, it's not what I need to do, right? And when you're lower, sometimes you have to keep yourself from doing as much. But many times, then when you actually need the push, like I today, there's a part of me is like, I don't really feel. I know I can go live, but I don't quite feel like it. But then when I give myself the push, now I'm actually happy that I did it and we had a good time. Boulder Shoulder 7 says, who cares? You can look old and healthy just as easy as you can look young and disheveled. I'm not sure about that word, but I get the point. Yeah, man, it's like, who cares? It's like, it's all about the way you feel, right? Your brain. I care about the cosmetic stuff, have done facial surgeries, will continue to get Botox, have done 2 hair transplants, etc. But I'm no longer hyperfixated on all this stuff. There was a point where it was the primary thing on my mind. Now I'm interested. Interesting. But yeah, your brain. That's interesting. You say it's now it's more of an afterthought. It's interesting though that you even still think about that. The shallow expressions. You being someone that meditates and being so deep. Because I'm like, I have the body stuff, but it's so little about like all my physical appearance out in the. But it's like I like being a guy that looks like that. You get so much respect and cred and attention in all kinds of places, right? But I know in the end, what I do enjoy is being that man. While if I just do some surgery to my face, it's like doesn't change anything about who I am. But I think you look genuinely slightly youthful for your age. Well, I'll take it as a compliment, but not something that I care too much either way about. Um, Ari Bobari, I'm glad you went live. You have very healing energy. That I appreciate that. Do you go live very often? So we've talked about that now. I know you said you just found your way here. And I've been going live a lot lately because I've been vibing high, as I call it. And I've been saying throughout this entire time that I won't be able to do it as often. I've been telling you guys, you will need to make it worth it with some more super chats, because now for a while it's like I will do it, I want to do it either way, but now I cannot really. It's too much of an effort now. So we'll see. I keep saying, I don't know. I might keep doing on a Sunday is where I could find, if I'm in the right place, I could find a moment like right at around this time to do it. But for a while I've done it like almost every day. If I didn't record a video, I at least live streamed, and sometimes both on a day. I appreciate that you think I have healing energy, because a healer is what I see myself as. Like I just use some means as bodybuilding and diet, but it's figuring you out, body, mind, and soul, healing that way. It's interesting how many people don't realize that actually doing a thing like bodybuilding in the right approach, it could help you heal and understand yourself in so many other ways than just like building a body. Ossie said, wow, you inspired me there. Higher state does what you need, lower state does what you want. It's more like, what I mean more is that, like, think of it like this, like work, like productive stuff. That's like easy. It's like I want to do all of that in a higher state, but I want to do more that I need to like feel good and keep going. That's what I've become better at now. I knew I was overdoing it, but I pulled the brakes on myself sooner. So I've had a smoother landing. And I think I'm gonna get back to being quite high again. But you see, it's more like then I have to keep myself from doing too much. While in a lower state, it's more like when you feel the resistance to not do it, you need to listen to it sometimes, but sometimes you need to give yourself that push. Because then what you want is not, you want the opposite, right? But that might be what you need. So that's the point. Boulder Shoulder says in Swedish that I could look like 27 and 28. Bit of sun does a lot. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. your brain says about physical appearance. It has always been very significant to me. I think that's something that won't fully go away. I wouldn't want it to. Yeah, man, it's like if you're fine with it, it's just interesting. Don't you think that comes from something in your childhood? Lots of comments on your appearance and stuff. Because that's what I, as a holistic coach, notice with people, that the way they look on their body, a lot about how their body turned out, the way they talk about their body and stuff. It has so much to do with their background. Clearly, for my mother, for instance, just the way her mother would comment on her body and stuff, gave her certain insecurities and obsessions. I see with it. I'll give one last example. A family friend, I happen to know that the dad is like hyper masculine, which is feminine in a way because he has a huge ego and has to have the last word and stuff like that. But outwardly very strict and disciplined, hard worker for sure. But he always tried to control his kids so much with exercise and what they were allowed to eat, and this has led to the kids both becoming really unusually fat as adults. You see, when someone is like so much about how you should be and look, and you need to do these things for that, it can have the complete opposite effect. Yeah. Your brain. Random question. Did you ever see the translator reacting to you on YouTube? The weird Lithuanian guy? My business partner and I find that guy absolutely hilarious. Let me see if it's the guy I think you mean. I think I saw it. I didn't know if he was serious. Is it the translator? Yeah, I think I saw this guy. Yeah, it is that guy. Yeah. No, it's weird. He called me a fake Natty, I think. I don't know. I don't know if he was joking. I have no idea. Yeah, I saw the video. Like, there's so few things. Most people will tell me if something is about me. There's too little of that. I wish more people did reaction videos to me and stuff. I found something here and there. I don't know if. Yeah, I don't know. Jack says, I agree it's hard to find a church that's not left wing here in Sweden. I'm personally more of an agnostic, believing in some kind of higher power. Well, I'm, you know, I'm definitely not agnostic. I'm a theist. Um, I just don't particularly identify with any one religion. Because, lots of like, I don't know, way of life and morals and stuff. I think a lot of it would be Christianity. But then I see a lot of, similarities between my own spirituality and sort of Hinduism, Buddhism related to that, stuff related to that. So that's why I tend to think that no religion has it all right. There are different interpretations and paths to the same one God within. That's the way I look at it. He said, Aribamari said, you especially piqued my interest during the Roman chair oblique video, the first video of yours that I've seen, because you talked about the body holistically and so approachable, talking about your genetic disposition for a certain physique. It was really relatable. I really appreciate that. Well, I'm glad, and I appreciate that feedback. It is good to know what people like. It really is, guys. It's like I have to figure out so much on my own. So all the feedback, input I get like that, it's like keep it in mind for later. And I'd be like, yeah, oh, here's an idea that's similar. It reminds me of I could talk about it in this way. So appreciate it, and I'm glad you liked it. And your brain says about this translator, yeah, he's serious. He's not a troll. He's genuinely crazy. I don't normally laugh at crazy people, but the guy is fucking funny. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can laugh at people. It's like, as long, I think, if it's innocent, you just find it entertaining. You don't do anything towards the person. I think when someone is attacking you, being on the offense, it's okay to like stand up to them, throw some shit back at them, if you see what I mean. But if it's someone that you're not involved with like that, it's just like, yeah, it's interesting, it's entertaining to just watch some people. Yeah. No, there will be, I will see how many else. It's like, with my podcast, it's like, it's so, even though I'm more holistic and many people around the channel like that and the spiritual part of that, it's so much easier for me to connect and book guests that are related to fitness, which is cool and all. But I call the podcast human beings for a reason, that I wanted to have different kinds of individuals. And it's just hard to get certain people's attention and get them to agree to come on and stuff. There's like one spiritual lady I so badly want to get on the podcast, but she's ignoring or not seeing all my attempts at getting her attention. I think I'm gonna have to buy a consultation from her. Just be like, I guess I can, I guess I can ask for some of your input on me personally, but I'm really just here to be like, can you be on my podcast? Uh, It says, we have offered the translator a bunch of money for a review of a device we sell, just to get a video from him, but he keeps refusing. LMAO. That's funny. Can't be controlled, that guy. Let's do it like this. Let's go to 140. I'll just stick around a little bit. It's quite quiet. Maybe someone wants to reward me an uncommon sense with a super chat here at the end. Ari Bobari, what is your podcast called? Sorry, I missed it. It's called Human Beings, and it is a YouTube podcast. It's one of those things I should rip the audio and put them in other places, but for now, it's a YouTube podcast. So there's a playlist on the channel. Everything I talk about that's related to the channel, there's either going to be playlist, or you can search the keywords on the channel and you will find them. Yeah. No, but I think we'll see if I have some really long videos still left in me, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to go down to like half the length of most of my recent videos and just clarify certain things a bit more. Last point, it says, awesome, thank you. Well, you're welcome. Enjoy the podcast. I think, honestly, every episode is really good in its own way. No, but one other thing that's become very clear to me recently is that our language is code. I keep in mind, I keep it in mind. Really, it's a command to put something in a certain place, until later. And yeah, it always started, it's the I, that's the made up word that doesn't exist. Many things start with am. Your brain, we keep upping how much we're willing to pay him for a review just for meme value, but so far he still doesn't bite. We gotta grow the company massively to make him an offer he can't refuse. This is interesting. I don't know anything about that guy, but it seems to me like it's probably a good deal for him to take some money for you to make a review of a device. So what I'm saying is that maybe money isn't the issue with a guy like that. It's a weirdo. I read again, for those that missed it, a poem I wrote about pretty much, okay, I can tell you the point of it. It's pretty much about being in a high state, being aware, having been there before, still overextending, and in the case of me, giving away a bit more than I give, like get back or just give myself by like putting boundaries on stuff, right? Here it goes. Soldier of love, reporting above. I am a man with quite a strong tan. I know it's been my turn, but the sun is starting to burn. I think about thee, forget about me. How can I not see that 1 and 2 always makes 3? If I am burnt, you must be pale. This lesson I've learnt. I'm better, but still fail. Better than ever before, sure. Striving towards perfection, there's always more. I did my best, right enough to pass the test. We'll see what the future has in store. Right now, it's right to rest. Widge 88. I think that belonging to a church seems like a nice idea at first, but what I find off-putting is the requirement of following rituals, like confession, for example. It's weird and unnecessary. I don't mind some of that stuff. Confession, I don't know. That's like a Catholic thing, right? I mean, it was a little weird when I went to Orthodox some ceremony. I had to kiss like the hand or something of the priest, and I'm so new to all of this. It feels so like I feel like I can't take it seriously, so that I feel like I sort of you know I feel like I dishonor it all just by like being so not used to this and having to kiss the hand of a priest. Just strange. Your brain says it's a great deal for him, and he's poor. He's weird in a very unique way. Maybe you'd find some odd entertainment value in seeing his content. There are many layers to his bizarreness. He has been the funniest person to us for quite a few years in a row. Has the willingness to pay him a lot just for the meme alone. Well, man, that's all good. I probably won't look into him, but if you want to email me, I have an email in the description on this video and all the others. If you want to tell me a bit more about these guys that I can see, I can go back to the stream and see the names. But if you want to say anything more, but now I'm gonna leave, guys. Thank you. This might be the last stream in some time. They're definitely not gonna be as frequent. I'm gonna take it as it comes. I won't deny a stream if I like them. It's a beautiful day. I definitely have the energy, but gonna be fewer and possibly none for a while. Then we're gonna find out. Last thing I read, Ari Bobari says, I went to a Catholic funeral. They served communion, but since I'm not confirmed in Catholicism, I could only come up for a blessing. Well, I'm really glad to have caught you. Well, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. Like, who is that in your picture there? I haven't really looked at the picture. You're a girl? Or you just use a girl's picture? Well, that's cool either way. I mean, it's kind of strange when guys use girls' picture. Oh, that's you. Well, hello there. No, I'm just kidding. But it is strange. When you play online poker, that I used to do a lot, for whatever reason, it was very common for guys to use some like girl as picture there. I don't know if they think that's gonna throw off the opposition or something. No, but I'm glad you found your way here too, and you had the timing to see a video when I was live. We'll see you again. Possibly Sunday streams, possibly some spontaneous one. I'll take it completely on how I feel now. I just know it's not going to be as much as it has been for a while. Peace, Theo, nice stream. Why he says, peace, man. Always good to see you around. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in videos in the week, live streams. We'll see. Peace. Have a good rest of your Sunday and have a good week.